She said that by 1963, she was at CIA training camps where generals, military generals, would visit the camp, and at one of these particular camps, on one occasion, actually more than one, she said it was stated the kill list was read.
Salutations to Dr. Wesley Muhammad and Dr. Ma'at for their compelling live stream on the Dr. Ma'at YouTube channel. Dr. Wesley Muhammad, a distinguished academic and fervent advocate for the teachings of the Nation of Islam, and Messenger Elijah Muhammad, elucidated the insidious plot orchestrated by the United States government to assassinate Malcolm X.
An important figure is CIA asset Marita Lorenz. Marita Lorenz is not only a CIA asset, she was Fidel Castro's baby mama, if you will. She had a son with Fidel Castro.
Okay.
The CIA recruited her in its many efforts to assassinate Fidel Castro. They recruited her.
Mm-hmm.
She was also brought into the operation that targeted John F. Kennedy. So she was as a CIA asset, she was very much integrated and entwined in these operations. She affirmed that the CIA had a kill list. A kill list. She said that by 1963, she was at CIA training camps where generals, military generals, would visit the camp, and at one of these particular camps, on one occasion, actually more than one, she said it was stated the kill list was read, and that the general said President Kennedy, Senator Robert Kennedy, Malcolm X, and Martin Luther King were four names on the kill list read by or articulated by the military generals, that these four would be killed. And the supervising agency would be the CIA on behalf of the White House. Now you say White House, but JFK was a president. Well, JFK was a victim of a coup. James Johnson, who succeeded him, has been credibly implicated in the assassination of JFK, the same LBJ who issued the kill order to put a quietus on Malcolm X in July 1964.
His presentation was marked by a series of persuasive arguments, one of the most intriguing being the involvement of a person of interest, Marita Lorenz. Marita Lorenz is a captivating historical figure whose life intertwines with critical events of the 20th century. Born in Germany, she became enrolled in the tumultuous political landscape of the era, eventually moving to the United States. Lorenz is perhaps best known for her alleged connections to the CIA, her claims of involvement in plots against prominent figures, including Fidel Castro. Her testimony posits that she was recruited by intelligence agencies, which adds a layer of complexity to her narrative and raises questions about the extent of covert operations during the Cold War.
On our panel, Marita Lorenz.
She was Fidel Castro's mistress. More than that, Marita claims that she traveled with the team of assassins that would ultimately murder President Kennedy 29 years ago. This is Marita's first national television interview in a decade. Where have you been?
Hiding.
Are you frightened?
No, not really. No, not really hiding, surviving.
You met Castro 1959?
Yes, February 27th, 1959 in Havana.
In Havana.
On my father's luxury liner, DMS Berlin. It's a cruise. And he came aboard, and I was 18.
Was it love at first sight?
I would think so, yes. Infatuation, yes.
Did you begin an affair almost immediately?
Yes, I went back to New York. He sent a plane for me, and I returned, thinking it would be only about 2 weeks. Turned out to be 8.5 months. And
you became pregnant with his baby?
Yes, I did. I was drugged and returned to the United States and then recruited by the CIA.
So the recruitment by the CIA happened in what year?
59, the end of 59.
So everything happened in that one tumultuous year?
Yes.
And the CIA asked you, Marita, to do what?
Well, they said, we don't like his uniform, we don't like his beard, we think he's turning communist. You have his uniform, which was only honorary. You have a key to his bedroom. Would you do this country a great deed? And after much talk, kill him.
Why would you want to kill the man who fathered your son?
Well, they used a lot of disinformation and brainwashing on me, and documents to say that Castro killed the baby, and which was all untrue. And since I had the key to his bedroom, just to go back, that he was a threat to national security.
Let's see that picture again, Jim Bob, the picture of Marita and Fidel back when...
That was on board.
Better times? That was on board your father's boat?
Yes, that's the first day I met him.
It seems for an 18-year-old you're quite enamored and
right.
Quite aggressive there.
Yes.
Oh, was he giving you an autograph?
No, yes, right. He was giving
me
the
phone number to his personal suite?
Right.
That too. Your son, is he alive?
Yes, he is.
Living where?
In Havana.
You had a daughter as well, didn't you?
Yes, my daughter is by my second assignment, another dictator. She is alive, well, and married happily today.
May I ask which dictator?
The second one was General Marco Pérez Jiménez, former president of Venezuela. He was an assignment to get funds for the so-called Bay of Pigs invasion.
You had quite a string of incredible lovers there, didn't you?
Personal. He said they were going to kill me because I messed up the assignment, killing Fidel. So he helped me, but it was also a scandal.
I want to get to the assassination of Marilyn Monroe. Before I do, though, I want to know, did you try and kill your lover, Fidel Castro?
Well, let's just say I went back through the motions. They put such a heavy burden on me. I was only a kid, really. And
how were you going to do it?
I poisoned him with botulinum toxin capsules. I did go back and one dry run just to see if I could go in and out, which I did. And I came back, and they said to put it in his food, pills. But Fidel has no set time, or he doesn't get up from 9 to 5 and eat at 12, or he eats when he feels like it. His schedule is very busy. But the second time he asked me, "Did you come to kill me?" I said, "Yes." And he was, yes.
What did he do?
He just lay there on the bed, smoking a cigar, and said, well, and he reached over and he had his 45 over a lamp, and he handed it to me. He said, go ahead. So I took the gun, and said, it's too rusty. He said, you can't kill me, nobody can. And he said, be careful when you go back, they will kill you. So and I don't think they've forgiven me today for messing up that assignment. I didn't do it, and I returned, and I've gotten hell ever since.
Does the name Frank Sturgis ring a bell to
Very
anybody?
well. He was
Remember him? The Watergate
Fiorini,
guy?
a.k.a. Fiorini. He was my, what do they call him, military advisor.
Was he the one that was telling you how to kill Fidel?
Yes, among other people also.
So Frank Sturgis was, you think, part of the CIA?
Absolutely. If he wasn't a signed agent, he was a contract employee.
And Frank
certainly on the payroll.
Sturgis, you claim, took you to Dallas.
Well, it was after the extradition of Perez Jimenez in August 1663. There was severe aggravated harassment against me. I went back to Sturgis for help. And after speaking to him, he said, well, let's just go do a gun run. I mean, we were running guns. I thought this was just another gun run to
From
Texas.
Miami
to
Dallas.
To Dallas, right. But what bothered me was that they were bringing guns and high-velocity automatics and disguises.
To Dallas.
To Dallas.
And the date?
The 3 days before.
The assassination.
Right.
Did he say, we're going to Dallas to kill President Kennedy?
He didn't say that. He said it was a top assignment. But in those days, due to the Bay of Pigs lack of air cover, everybody in Miami, especially the anti-Castroites, were extremely vehemently anti-Kennedy, anti the government for being let down without air cover. And they had their reasons to feel terribly rejected. He didn't say that. It was just a top assignment.
A big job tomorrow.
Big job, a top job. And, I went along thinking I would be used again as a decoy and to pick up weapons, and we go back.
All right.
But I was in the way.
You were in the way. All right, you'll tell us what happened in Dallas.
Dr. Muhammad's exploration of Lorenz's role in the assassination plot against Malcolm X underscores the darker machinations of government power and the lengths to which state actors might go to suppress dissent. He presents a compelling case that invites further examination of not only Lorenz's life, but also the broader implications of her associations.
I want to take a moment to make sure everyone knows who Malcolm X was. Yes, he was a father, a husband, a community member, but he was also a man who genuinely fought for us and had a vision of what we could be. He shared his visions with us in speeches given in June of 1964 about how the problem of the black man needed to be taken away from the hands of the United States government and instead put before the United Nations, where he believed that this world body would be able to have the power to hold the United States accountable for the illegal and criminal injustices that they committed against their people. In January 1965, Malcolm said in an interview with the CBC, "We believe that our problem is not a violation of civil rights, but of human rights. Not only are we denied the right to be a citizen in the United States, we are denied the right to be a human being." Couldn't Malcolm have said these same words today? Haven't we seen the same forms of repression happen today? This is the legacy that we fight for the future Malcolm knew America could have. Federal and state agencies targeted Malcolm and described him as a black extremist, labeled black organizations as hate groups, and developed a systemic and illegal war on the black movement. Malcolm knew that these efforts to repress his justice movement existed, yet he remained steadfast, uncompromising and unwavering in his beliefs, and unapologetically proud to be black. This terrified the United States so greatly that the FBI New York special agent sent a letter to J. Edgar Hoover on December of 1964. He called for extra coverage and extra surveillance of Malcolm X's activities, since Malcolm intended to have the issue of the oppression of black Americans brought before the United Nations. Just 2.5 months later, Malcolm was assassinated. In Malcolm's memory, we honor his legacy by remaining steadfast in our fight for justice for every single just cause, including his.
In summary, the discourse presented by Dr. Muhammad is not merely an academic exercise. It serves as a clarion call to acknowledge the intricate and often perilous intersections of history, politics, and individual agency.